Okay, so I want to take a deep look at the AP Top 25 preseason poll, and that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And a couple hours ago, the AP College Football Top 25 preseason poll came out. And I put a lot of stock into the AP Top 25 because the media that are voting in it know what they're doing. They've covered college football for a very long time. It's a really prestigious vote. It's harder to get than a Heisman vote. I think there are a couple of things that are more difficult to get onto from a voting standpoint as a media member than this, but this is right there inside my top 5. And speaking of top 5, let's go through those right quick. And then I want to jump into some notes that I think are just interesting, looking at statistics. Some are OU related, some are national champion related, some kind of change how we're going to view college football a little bit. But first, the top 5 probably don't surprise you in the least. Clemson at number 1, the defending national champs. Alabama at number 2. Georgia at number 3. Oklahoma at number 4. And Ohio State at number 5. I don't really have an issue with any one of those teams being ranked where they're ranked. I actually think that that's pretty spot on and pretty on the nose. And get into more of that. But now I kind of want to transition into some news and notes associated with this poll. And I pulled some of this from Ralph Russo. I pulled some of this from Brett Murphy. Both of those guys are excellent follows on Twitter, and you can read their work at ap.org. In the case of Russo, who is the guy actually running the polling for the AP College Football preseason poll and every poll after it. And Brett Murphy is College Football Insider and does excellent work. He used to be an SID. He went to Oklahoma State. He has since made his way into being an insider in college football through COSIDA. Right? He knows all the SIDs, so he gets a lot of press releases before a lot of other people do, and that's cool. I enjoy it. So the first note is there are 52 first-place votes, and Alabama received like the other 10 of the 62 votes. Clemson snaps a record-tying string of 3 straight years in which Alabama was the preseason number 1. Not bad, especially since nobody had ever heard of really Clemson since 1980 when they last won a national championship. And then Dabo Swinney took over the job as an interim head coach, thought he was going to get fired, and turned it into a juggernaut in the last 10 years. Like, you look at what Clemson was in 08, and then you look at, or 09 for that matter, and you look at what they are now in 2019, and it's remarkable. We're talking about Clemson having one of the toughest places to play college football in the country. Would not have said that in 09. Wouldn't have gave Clemson a second glance. That was Florida State's conference. That was Miami's conference. Now, conference belongs to Clemson. Next note, the Tigers entered 2019 with a 15-game winning streak and 8 straight double-digit victory seasons. Since 2015, when they lost the national championship game to Alabama, the Tigers are 55-4. Remarkably, Alabama is also 55-4 in its last 4 years. We talk about parity in college football, but really it's Alabama, Clemson, and everybody else until further notice. And I don't think that there's a whole lot of people that would argue with that. Even the folks that try to put their fandom before the sport of college football, I don't want to do that because life's too short, and I like talking about college football as an intellectual and as a smart person, and I believe you are too. And it's cool. Alabama and Clemson are the best at what they're doing, and everybody's trying to catch up to them. And there was a time when we didn't think that anybody was going to catch Alabama. And then not only Clemson caught them, but surpassed them, drubbed them 44-16, man, with a true freshman quarterback. Just doesn't happen to a Saban team at Alabama, and yet it has happened. And oh, by the way, Ohio State has managed to win a national championship in there, man. So it's really just a couple of teams, and then you're one off, like Ohio State. Oklahoma is on the doorstep trying to get there. Georgia, on the doorstep trying to get there. Ohio State has been there, right? They just can't sustain it, and that's part of it. So, keep that in the back of your head as we continue to go through this thing called college football, because now there are a couple of games that matter just a little bit more. Going into this season, we were saying all roads to the national championship lead through Notre Dame, because Notre Dame had Michigan and Georgia on its schedule, and Michigan has a really loaded and or favorable schedule, depending on how you look at it, because they got Michigan State, Michigan, and Notre Dame on the schedule. Georgia has Notre Dame and Alabama on the schedule, but check this out. Number 12, Texas A&M and South Carolina will each play the preseason top 3. That means they're going to get a shot at Clemson, Alabama, and Georgia in the same season. Only 3 times previously has a team had the entire preseason top 3 on its schedule. And it ain't gone very well for those teams. In 1968, Northwestern faced Purdue, USC, and Notre Dame and went 0-3. In 1972, Minnesota faced Nebraska, Colorado, and Ohio State and went 0-3. And then in 1975, Missouri faced Oklahoma, Alabama, and Michigan and went 1-2, beating number 2 Alabama to open the season. So A&M has an outside chance of getting all 3 of these scalps, but if they get one, we're never going to hear the end of it from Aggies fans because that's just how they're built. But I think we need to amend where the college football playoff and national championship runs through, because it ain't Notre Dame as much as it is A&M and South Carolina, because both of those teams get 3 cracks at the best teams, according to the media, preseason top 25 this year. That's remarkable. Also gives them the toughest schedule in college football. Jimbo Fisher, time to earn that $75 million contract. Number 21, Iowa State, is making its second appearance in the preseason poll. The Cyclones were number 20 in 1978. Matt Campbell has that program just trending in the right direction. I think that this is going to be a difficult year for them because they're figuring out who their running back is. Brock Purdy is well and truly the guy this year. You're retooling the defense to a bit, but I think Mike Rhodes is going to be better than people think. I think they got a solid defensive line with Ray Lima on it. I think Matt Campbell's going to find a way to scheme. I think John Heacock is one of the most underrated defensive coordinators in college football. Iowa State is going to make some noise this year. It's about, can they get to 10 wins, right? Can they get into the Big 12 championship game? That's the bar for them now. At number 22, Syracuse is the preseason top 25, in the preseason top 25 for the first time since 98 when the Orange were number 17. All right. Not just returning a Lou Groza Award winner, but now you are a preseason top 25 team, and everybody knows who you are now. Syracuse isn't sneaking up on anybody. And then number 24, shocker for me, Nebraska. Hadn't been ranked since 2014, the program's longest drought since 55 to 59. The ranking also ends a string of 32 straight polls in which Nebraska has not been ranked, dating back to the final one of the 2016 season. That is also the longest run of unranked teams the Huskers have had since the late 50s. Big Ten also got 7 teams in. SEC got 6 teams in. Big 12 got 3 teams in. But everybody is all in on Scott Frost and Adrian Martinez and what he's building in Nebraska, notably Nebraska fans. And I want Nebraska to be good because Oklahoma gets them on the schedule in 2021. And OU Nebraska, yeah, man. That's going to get everybody's blood going. And if you're an OU fan or a Nebraska fan, this is what you want. I think everybody's going to be able to get up for this because it's 2021 and 2022, and we love that rivalry. I mean, Game of the Century fans stand up. But now you got Scott Frost, who understands what it means to be at Nebraska, understands what it would mean for Nebraska to be a power once again. Hey, man, it's set up for you. Go knock it down, Nebraska. See what you can do, Huskers. And then OU, again, number 4 in the AP Top 25 poll, number 4 in the Amway Coaches poll. A couple OU statistics for you. This one comes from Blinken Riley. It's the 35th time OU has been ranked in the preseason AP Top 25 since 1950, and the 20th consecutive season it's been included in the preseason Top 25. And as Blinken said, the majority of times that Oklahoma has has started inside the preseason top 25. It is finished inside the preseason top 25. Now, I also know that every OU fan hates being ranked inside the preseason top 5 because it feels like it can only go down from here and the boys are going to have a hiccup and we're all going to lose our hair over it again. Second part of that is every OU fan would be more pissed than a castrated bull in a pasture full of heifers and heat if they did not see OU ranked inside the preseason top 5. It's just, it's a contradiction. It's how OU fans are built. It's what we're doing. I love y'all, but man, there is no pleasing you. Come back as number 1 ranked team if you didn't win the national championship the year before and be like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Come back as number 2 ranked team after losing the national championship game and you'd be like, nope, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But leave an OU team unranked or have a team that ain't good enough, yeah, then you're going to feel some real ire from OU fans. So getting into the poll itself, I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up because there's more surprises at the bottom. Also, underscores how difficult it is to rank 25 teams. I mean, outside of 10, like the next 15 are really difficult. And you'll see what I'm talking about because we got some moving and shaking going on here if we wanted it. At number 25, we got Stanford, David Shaw's group. Okay, all right, I don't disagree with it, but again, 25th of 25. Then you got Nebraska at 24. Scott Frost, we talked about. Washington State at 23. They're breaking in a new quarterback. I expect it to be Gage Gubrud, but we'll see. Mike Leach always puts out a pretty decent team, especially here of late. I could see them getting to 9 wins in a Pac-12. Then you got Syracuse, who we talked about. Iowa State, who we talked about. Iowa. Somehow Iowa always ends up in this poll. And I understand that A.J. Epinesa is that dude. Like, he's going to be a first-round talent in defense at defensive end. But we'll see, man. I'm not sold on Iowa. Wisconsin, Jonathan Taylor, and everybody else. Jonathan Taylor might end up being the best running back college football this year. It's probably going to get around 300 to 330 carries. Wisconsin's going to line it up, run at you, play a little defense. We'll see if they can hold up in the Big Ten. Michigan State, same thing. They're going to play defense. They're going to line up and run at you. They get the first crack at Tulsa on August 30th. That'll be a lot of fun. And you got UCF at 17. Man, they ain't got a quarterback. I mean, I guess you count Brandon Wimbush, right? Transfer from Notre Dame, got beat out by Ian Book, but he didn't look great up there. I mean, he beat Michigan, but he didn't look great. I mean, if you had Mack coming back or if you had McKenzie Milton at quarterback, maybe I'd buy into this a little bit more. But I know you ain't got a defense. And I understand Josh Heupel's Josh Heupel, and I understand he took over a really good UCF team from Scott Frost, and they did it again, nearly beat LSU. But without a quarterback to run Josh Heupel's offense, I just don't see it, man. And I don't trust Brandon Wimbush, especially at number 17. Auburn at number 16, a little bit underrated, just a little bit. Also got the same problem with not having a quarterback, but they got wideouts, they got a running back, they understand who they are defensively, and I think, they beat Oregon, they'll vault up. At number 15, we got Penn State, same thing, breaking in a new quarterback, breaking in a new running back. Penn State is riding on its reputation right now, that's what I think. Utah, 14, severely underrated. Great defense, outstanding defensive line. Zach Moss is a great running back. They're going to line up, handing him the ball, and tell Tyler to get out of the way. I think Utah is a sexy pick to win the Pac-12. Number 13, we got Washington. Chris Peterson, man, he's done a job up there. I mean, getting blue chip talent in there. Just got Jacoby Covington to commit over there. Has become a DBU of sorts with Taylor Rapp and Byron Murphy coming out of there. If Keely Ringo ends up over there with Jacoby Covington out of Saguaro, man, it's going to be really awesome. Also, Jimmy Lake knows how to call defense, and he knows what he's looking for. Watch out for a Chris Peterson team that's going to have Jacob Eason back there throwing passes again. Or I say again, for the first time, because he transferred in and had to sit out a year. See, at number 12, A&M, mentioned Jimbo Fisher has an uphill battle with Kellen Mond at quarterback. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sold on A&M even being ranked in this thing after this season because we talked about those 3 games. They got a shot, but man. Then at number 11, Oregon, Justin Herbert is a great quarterback. He might be the best quarterback in this group of quarterbacks that's going to be eligible for the 2020 draft. And C.J. Verdell is a great running back, but you lost Schooler at wide receiver. I still don't know about you defensively. We'll have to wait and see. 11 might be just a touch high. I actually would have had Utah at that 11 spot and Oregon at that 14 spot. And then at number 10, you got Texas. Man, everybody loves Texas. I understand Sam Hargy-Elliger is that dude for Texas, and I know he's the straw that stirs the drink. But outside of Colin Johnson, you don't have anybody other than Devin Duvernay, right? You're asking Jake Smith, who I drafted late in my fantasy football league, to do some of the work. You lost Brew McCoy to the portal. Keontae Ingram is an unproven commodity, but he has a chance to prove something. Jordan Whittington could end up being good, but you don't really return much on defense at all. I mean, honestly, your safety is going to be pretty good. Caden Stearns, I think, could be all Big 12 and in the running for a Jim Thorpe Award finalist. But outside of that, I don't catch it, man. Not at number 10. I'm sorry. But if they can make it past LSU with a win, get in the Red River rivalry, and still be ranked, talk about a top 5 matchup between OU and Texas. And I like that. At number 9, we got Notre Dame. Fine. I mean, I get that Ian Book is returning, but you lost Miles Boykin on the outside. You're asking Chase Claypool to do a lot of work. You lost Jerry Tillery on the defensive line. You lost Dexter Williams at running back. I'm not sold on it. Florida at number 8, going to be solid defensively. We understand that Felipe Franks is coming into a year where he could ascend. LaMichael Pirine is a great running back. He's going to go for, I think, around 1,100, 1,200 yards this year. We'll see what they do against Miami. Number 7, you got Michigan. Josh Gaddis is the new offensive coordinator. We expect Shea Patterson to thrive in this new system that looks a lot like a Big 12 scheme. It's going to take advantage of his ability to run and throw. And defensively, I hope that they're good. I want Dax Hill to end up as a starting safety, so I have somebody to root for. We'll see. And then at number 6, LSU. Joe Burrow needs to be a little bit better than Joe Burrow was last year for them to keep this ranking. Defensively, you know they're going to be good. Grant Delpit is the star on that defense. We'll see if John Emery figures into what they do. I don't know. We'll wait. And at number 5, Ohio State. Of course, they named Justin Fields their starting quarterback today. It's going to be back there with J.K. Dobbins and K.J. Hill. That might be the best trio in all of college football. I like that triplet set. Defensively, it was a dumpster fire last year. Maybe Josh Proctor gets some run, but even if he doesn't, Baron Browning is a load at middle linebacker, and he's going to make his presence known, as is Chase Young on the defensive line. We all know that Larry Johnson Sr. is going to have those boys ready to play. We'll just see if they can show up against Michigan once again. And, of course, at number 4, you got Oklahoma. I expect Jalen Hurts to be the starting quarterback. I've said this for 8 months now. I expect CeeDee Lamb to be in the finalist, a Biletnikoff Award finalist. I expect Trey Sermon, Kennedy Brooks to lead a loaded running back depth chart that goes as deep as Ramondre Stevenson, TJ Pledger, and of course Marcus Major, who is a local kid that is going to break onto the national scene. If not this year, then next year. Defensively, Alex Grinch has to put together something that can keep Oklahoma in this top 4 and make it back to the college football playoff. Number 3, Georgia. We got Jake Fromm that people are putting in the Heisman conversation. I understand it. I get it. DeAndre Swift is beside him. They need to line up and play defense to stay in the games. And I hope that this new offense that they say they're going to run, where they're going to distribute the ball a little bit more, be a little less old school pro style, a little less West Coast. Yeah, I could see it because Kirby Smart knows how to call defense, knows how to coach them up defensively. Bama returns Tua Tagovailoa. They got Dylan Moses at middle linebacker. Patrick Surtain Jr. is going to be a dude. Got 4 wide receivers out there that can run. I think they can all run sub 11 in 100 meters. And they got at least one dude, Henry Ruggs, that was reportedly running sub 4 in the 40. Good God. Say nothing of Brian Robinson and Najee Harris back there at running back. They're going to be pretty decent. And then Clemson. Trevor Lawrence is everybody's favorite new quarterback. Travis Etienne averaged damn near 8 yards a carry, I think maybe more. And you got T. Higgins and Justin Ross on either side of them. Brent Venables is the best defensive coordinator in all of college football. It's Clemson's world. We're just living in it until they say otherwise. All right, that is it for me. Deuces.